All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. We're just a bunch of Kiss fans and we talk Kiss. So come along for the ride, you've got nothing to lose. All right, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. We've got a full house today, which is awesome for this topic, which is going to be, of course, Ace Frehley, Sweetest, Licks. Lonnie, St. Louis, Kiss is on board.
What's
Marcus
up?
Almighty, Mark is on board.
Greetings.
Daniel, Louise is on board. And the voice of reason, Ken. I am sick as a dog today, so I apologize in advance. This episode is sponsored by Beecham's. We'll see if they help me get through this episode. So since getting back from Detroit, I've been I came down with something midweek, and it's just been brutalizing me. All right, so catching up. These guys did a great episode last week while I was out, and wow, it was more than an hour. What a shock. I'm not surprised in the slightest.
You noticed.
Yeah, I did. So very cool for that. Also, 2 weeks of Ace World to catch up on because I wasn't here to mention it last week. So the previous one was Breakout. This week's was the Quick Lick song, which if you don't know what that is, go give it a listen and you shall discover the answer. And there's only one left in this series. These last two that are going up were just after the fact ones that I decided to do. I'd recorded a whole bunch of these at the same time. So that series is coming to an end next week or this week, whatever week it is. So that is it. Mailroom. I got some mail this week, and I can't recommend this strongly enough, even if you don't read Japanese, because it does have lots of pictures. For instance, it is the wonderful Byrne presents Ace Frehley, the Eternal Spaceman. It is a bit of a tribute to Ace, but in some ways, it's more of just a kind of a reason to do a massive, Kiss-related publication. It represents Ace's Byrne interviews that he did over the years. It has new interviews with an assortment of members of Kiss, some of whom actually talk about Ace. I'm working my way through the Vinnie Vincent one right now, and I think he says Ace twice, and the rest of it's all about what he's been up to. So it's not wholly a tribute to Ace. It's using Ace to frame a tribute to Kiss and the band that he was a part of. But very, very much worthwhile if you're able to get it. And it was kind of expensive ordering from Amazon Japan, but it's certainly doable. Again, if you don't read Japanese, you'll have to translate it, but we've got the tools. We have the power to do that these days. Ken, you got a shipping notice?
Oh, I got a shipping notice that the liquid-filled Kiss Destroyer vinyl will be here hopefully next week, middle next week. That's it. So we'll see what that thing looks like.
Very cool.
Maybe next weekend.
Right now, one of the minions is peeing into that vinyl to fill it up with liquid for you.
Peeing in it. Yeah.
Hope you enjoy that. Obviously, last week I was here because I was in Detroit for the Peter Criss Rock City Music Company signing event, which was absolutely fantastic. Peter's posted a heartfelt thank you note on his website, so go check that out. There's also a very cool recap video, which has some video, audio, photos, slideshow. Just a little recap of the whole thing has been posted on Peter's site. I'll put the URL to that in the chat. For anyone who's interested in seeing it, some fun of, Peter being behind the kit, having some fun during the photo sessions, because he's always up there behind the kit and he does test it out. And unfortunately, where I was standing for one part that I did film, I had his face in front of a cymbal, but there are other people in the room. No. I can go shoving people around. But it was great to meet a whole bunch of people who watched the show, who are on the KissFAQ message board, who are friends on Facebook, and are people who I've known for many, many years. That was absolutely fantastic. It seemed to go very, very well. It was a structured signing. They were doing groups, so people weren't just hanging around, which was just as well because it was a rainy night on the Friday. So from that perspective, I got to sit at the end of the drying table because Team Catman has little wand things that they help dry the signatures to make sure no one gets a smudge. So no one wants a smudge. So I'm just sitting down on the end. I didn't have any specific task at the event itself, but to see some of the things that people were getting signed, you'll see pictures of them in that recap video of some of them. Two very cool things was Ace's gold record for his solo album, which had been signed by Ace, and the chap wanted it signed by Peter as well. Seats from Tiger Stadium.
Nice.
They were seat number 3, which is
his number.
Oh, 3. I get it.
Very
cool. And there was also one poster. It was only used, I think, for 2 shows that came through, and it was just sitting on the table, and it's a $5,000+ poster. It is that rare. It's one of the rarest posters. I mean, there's a whole bunch of really rare Kiss posters, but just to get to see that up close and hear the stories behind that and why it was made, very cool. I learned a lot. And again, I don't collect, so I get off seeing what other people are bringing in to get signed, and there were all sorts of. I mean, Lonnie, you were in Knoxville a few back, and you would have seen what people were carrying, and that's part of the fun of seeing what other fans are in it.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite things, even at Knoxville and when in Indianapolis when I saw Paul, is I always love looking around and like looking in line to see what people are getting signed and just see what kind of rare memorabilia you can spot with your own eyes. That's always one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So Sunday would have been Ace's 75th birthday. I was planning on going live and doing a video, but I was just too busy with traveling and whatnot. Kiss Online did publish a really cool feature. I've got to hand it to Kiss Online, who have upped their game with the written material that they are starting to post on this site. And while you do need a log on, it doesn't cost anything to have free membership. That's all I've got now. You can join the Kiss Army if you wish and get all the early access to things. And if not, just get an account so that you can quickly read the stuff that they do share for free. And it was Ken Sharp's Galaxy Quest, Ace Frehley 75 feature. And I thought it was a very powerful piece with interview material from Gene Paul and Eddie Kramer. So
powerful and attractive.
It was powerful and attractive. Did you read it while you're in the gymnasium? All right. Let's just go straight into today's topic, which is, of course, Ace Frehley's Sweetest Licks. And the premise behind this one is simple. Each panelist provided a list of their 10 favorite Ace's licks, and they could be riffs, they could be solos, they could be bass lines, because Ace bass. And then I compiled a list from that, so we'll go through the ones that only had unique selections. And I want to really get some audience participation in this with some of the solos that you think should be featured today. And we'll see if we talk about them as we go, because we're all coming from different perspectives. Yeah. Ace's tactical toolbox included a full spectrum of guitar techniques. There's a massive section on this in Aceland. There you go, Daniel. There was everything about Ace was his picking, his vibrato, use of scales, harmonics, tapping, you name it. Ace utilized it in some way or another. And again, there's a lot more to it than just those techniques that I mentioned. But for me, it's about the player, because you can give a guitar to a different player and have him play the same thing, and it doesn't sound the same as Ace doing it, because it's about the hand. In Ace's case,
feel.
Very much, feel, wrist. And that was one thing that he really kind of presented and talked about in Beyond the Player, or Behind the Player, whatever it was, the video that he did a few years ago. What are some of the elemental ingredients that kind of stand out to you when you think about Ace's guitar playing within the context of this episode today? Mark, I got to start with you as kind of the most official guitarist here.
Well, I think the main thing that is attributed to or identified with Ace is his vibrato. Like his left hand vibrato is the thing that immediately stands out, because like even in the early albums, like when he does like Firehouse and stuff like that, there's not a lot of different notes in there per se, but he'll take those notes and really go to town with the vibrato on them. And that's a very personal sort of technique, because while he might have a slow and fast style and bending up and down, some people like doing the back and forth style vibrato. Some people I've seen, I think like Warren DeMartini of Rat, he likes to do like a circular type of technique for his vibrato. That sounds really good too. So it's very personal to most people. But but I think his technique for vibrato is very, very good, and it's almost like BB King, where they said that BB King can play two notes, and he can just make those two notes sound fantastic with his vibrato. So it's a very important skill as a lead guitar player for sure. And and he has a lot of other interesting techniques, like his hammer-on pull-offs that he does are really good. He's very good at that sort of the trilling, the between the two notes. He's really good at. His tapping was always interesting because he never used his finger. He always liked to use the pick when he was doing it, which kind of makes it sound a bit sloppy, but it was part of his style, and it worked for him. And he made it work, and that's like what Julian was saying earlier. When you hear Ace play, you kind of know right off the bat it's him because of his styling, the way it sounds. You give Ace any guitar besides a Les Paul, and they'll sound like Ace Frehley. Sorry.
Nice. Yeah, Frehley. Lonnie, what about you? What are some of the things that stand out when you listen to an Ace riff or solo that grabs your attention?
He's just so unique compared to not only any other Kiss guitarist, but any other guitarist, period. You like to echo what Mark was saying, you can tell that it's Ace right away. And I guess that's why people started recognizing Psycho Circus right away. The like people are like, I don't think so, because he is so very unique and has such a distinct sound. I just love the way he plays. I'm just a fan. You know what I mean? I'm not. I can dabble on guitar, but I'm not a big fan. I'm not going to get real technical like Mark did. And I'm just a fan. I love the way he plays, and he just has a unique style. And he is a core part of that original Kiss sound.
Absolutely. And you don't have to be a chef to enjoy a good meal, do you? You just like the frickin' playing, and that's all that matters, because I ain't technical. Ken, what about you? What are some of the elements that kind of jump out at you for Ace's solos and riffs?
Well, one of the things is, at least as far as riffs go, he does a lot of you always know it's a riff of Ace where it's kind of a back and forth, up and down. He does a lot of descending riffs and other types of things like that. But he doesn't go crazy on his riffs where he does all weird stuff where he goes into multiple kind of extended kind of riffs with a bunch of different levels of notes or anything like that. But it's usually up and down the scale kind of thing, riffs that he likes to do back and forth. As far as the solos always somehow fit the song. He does a lot of the same things using scales and things like that, or notes that are just back and forth, a couple of notes, but he makes it work and sound right, and it always fits the song. So and turns it into lots of times turns it into its own song, the melody in itself. And it just always fits. So I never heard a bad Ace solo. I can't think of one. So it's always good.
We'll see if the comments in our audience today suggest any bad Ace Frehley solos, but they won't have made this show. All right, Daniel, what about you?
Well, you guys covered most of it, but I have to say that the main thing with Ace Frehley in the 70s was his ability to create a song within the song. You can hum every solo almost on every early Kiss record. But if you go to I actually listened to Monster yesterday, and it struck me that I couldn't hum a single solo. I didn't know any of the solos, and I think that was one of his greatest assets. His way of writing a memorable solo. He was kind of limited, he went back to his Ace-isms all the time, but he could vary them, creating crescendos, creating scales that fit well together. I love his early solos, and growing up in the 80s, I was bombarded with stuff like Yngwie Malmsteen and Ed Van Halen, but actually I prefer Ace's style because it's more melodic, and I think it was great that he wasn't that technical, because he had to think about how he could create a great solo being limited, and he sure as hell did, as we're going to hear on this episode.
Absolutely.
You know,
could tell a
sorry,
hell of a
one thing. Can I
story
just
with this solo.
Sorry, I just wanted to say just one thing really quickly though. And Daniel brought up that how some of the things changed and he went back to his acisms. One thing that did change later on is that he started putting on whammy bars on his Les Paul, which is almost unheard of to do that. But he put Kahlers on his right when he started doing the solo stuff. And the thing is, and he admitted this later too, is that once he started using the whammy bar for his vibrato and stuff like that, that he totally had to go back and kind of not relearn it, but get back into proper swing of his own left hand vibrato afterward, because he completely abandoned that style because when he had the whammy bar, he didn't need to do it as often, right? So sometimes when you try to advance yourself, you do lose something in the process of it. So I'm glad he went back to the non-whammy bar.
Yep, absolutely. Good point. All right, so everyone watching or listening, guess how many unanimous picks there were for this episode from the 10 songs. And keep that number kind of secret for now, if you want. And we'll see at the end whether you were right or not. All right, so with a little Julian math, I've compiled the list that we'll focus on. But first, we got to go through the picks that don't make that list, because the more Ace solos, the sweeter the episode, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Daniel, one of yours did not make the master list. Only one. Firehouse. Why do you pick that one?
Firehouse solo. Didn't that make the list?
No,
well,
it didn't.
So many to choose from, Daniel.
That's incredible. That's such a great solo. You know, what's that called? when you it's called
repetitive.
Yeah, but the thing when you bend the string and then you
bends syncopation,
and you let it down slowly while you're playing. It's called something. I don't know what it's called, but
bend.
I love that way of playing. I've copied that quite a few times after hearing that. Yeah, he bends it, and then you let the string down slowly as you play it, like he does there in Firehouse. Such a great solo. It's incredible it didn't make the list, but I guess it's just shows you.
There's a lot of different.
There's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of great stuff, but I'm sure someone else out there must have liked the Firehouse solo. Please.
Well, yeah, Rodrigo clearly thinks we're insane.
All right. The solos are great.
Yeah. So Daniel actually did the best out of all of us. Lonnie, 3 of yours didn't make the list. I'm sorry to say. Rock Bottom, Got to Choose, and Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
Let Me Go Rock and Roll. The hell? That is the best. I love the end of Alive.
What's it about those?
I love the end of Alive. Ace doing Let Me Go Rock and Roll is just him just wailing away is fantastic. I cannot believe I've never been more disappointed in the 4 of you. Sure, I've been disappointed in the 4 of you in the past. Absolutely, I have on many occasions. Never to this extent. I love you, Mike. I can't believe that. I think that's crazy. I think you guys are nuts. Rock Bottom, that's awesome. What are you talking about? You got rock. What was the 3rd one, Julian? I'm stunned.
Got to Choose.
Got to Choose. So it was amazing as well.
Yeah, I have to defend myself.
Severely disappointing. Please.
I must defend myself because the Let Me Go Rock and Roll, for some reason when we were doing this, I didn't pick anything really, I don't think, from the live albums, which was a mistake. Clearly, if I would have thought of that, then I would have for sure picked one of those, because Let Me Go Rock and Roll, the live version of Live is brilliant. I do agree with that, but for some reason I was kind of stuck in the studio frame of mind where it's completely different, the ending of that song, right? So that's my defense of that one.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I listened to Let Me Go Rock and Roll Off of Hotter Than Hell. I mean, for sure.
No, that's
live version.
So, it's better. So I'm stunned by this.
All right, so let's kick off the first of the multimedia clips with one of Lonnie's picks, Got to Choose, which didn't make the list.
great.
It is. I mean,
You
it
can
is
play
great.
that whole solo. It's so memorable, all of it. So
Yeah.
you can hear it in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know every.
Like Daniel was
You
saying,
know
you
it
can just
all.
hum along to it. You can just hum along
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
It's a song in
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
It's a song within a song. It tells a story.
Hell yeah.
You know, and again, a whole bunch of different techniques represented there. Just go to some of the comments. Yeah, I had a great time in Michigan. Glad to finally get to step foot in the Rock City. Max, too slow. That is just pure 19. It doesn't have to be 100 miles an hour, but we all have our tastes. So I'm sure we'll get to some that you agree with. Let's move on to. 3 of us had 4 picks, Lonnie, that didn't make the list. So imagine how we feel, which either means that we're nuts. Let's start with Ken. Ken, Dirty Living, Let Me Know, Snowblind did not make the list.
That's a great.
I'll save your last one to last because I got multimedia for it.
Yeah.
Talk about those. Why are they on your list?
Dirty Living. It's just a great. I just love the solo on that. I've always loved it. I think it's a, the way he just holds the note, the high pitched note in that song. It's just holding one note, and it makes the whole thing work great. He holds the note, and then he does some riffing, and then holds it again. The high squealing. I mean, I don't know how you come up with solos like that or whatever, but it perfectly worked on that. What else did you say? The other one was
Let Me Know.
Let Me Know, I think, is a great. The Let Me Know, it's the live solo from Kobo. I picked. It's just a great, super cool solo that fits the song. So love that one. And then what was the other one that I didn't?
Snowblind.
Oh yeah,
that is a deep pick. I love that.
Yeah.
Snowblind. I think is overlooked. It's a cool kind of solo that within the transition of the song itself. It's kind of a slow plodding in a way, like almost Black Sabbath-y to a degree, the riffing, but then it kicks off into this, and then he just goes. I mean, it's just like, whoa, it's awesome. He's just flowing. So yeah, love that. Do you mean my other one?
Here's your other one that didn't make the list right now.
Okay, this is you see why. Yeah, so Got Love for Sale.
That's
I mean,
good.
you don't, it's a Gene song. That helps, of course, me. But it's just a lot of the Gene songs that Ace did solos on they're always spot on, great melodic, cool solos, and that's I would call that kind of an underrated solo. So I kind of threw that in, knowing no one else would pick that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good,
way better than Eddie's solo.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. All right, so I'm going next because I actually get 3 clips for this one, unfortunately, because most of my picks were rejected. All right, first up, I'll just play the clip first and then say why.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, technically, there's a lot wrong with that, right, Mark? But in terms of what it represents, basically, I'm coming from an emotional place with that pick because that's basically the last live guitar solo that he did with Kiss. before leaving the band. So it's an emotional thing. And it's just it's a kitchen sink of techniques kind of thrown together in a sense to fit into the amount of measures that they said, all right. And he even points over during the performance to the sound guy, here we go. And it's just I'm gonna, you want a profit and loss statement? Well, here we're throwing the kitchen sink in. So that's why I picked that one. Another one of my picks that didn't make it was Hard Times.
That's it. Yeah.
Which I was very surprised that I was the only one who picked Hard Times.
Yeah.
Because that goes so well with the street. It's a street solo for a street song. So it's got a, Kiss Vids, totally winging it, maybe. But again, it's just techniques thrown together. So no one else went with this one.
Pain in the neck.
Haven't heard that one in a long time.
Anomaly.
Yeah.
I just love the aggression. From the day I heard that album, there was something. It's like Ace has something to prove, and he's wringing the notes out of that neck, and he is attacking. The pick attack is just incredible. It's got a great rhythm track underneath as well for it, which sets it up so well. So again, I wanted to try and make sure I had a pick that just wasn't from the Kiss canon, just because. All right, my final one, and then we can move on to Mark's. Is, hold on, let me just remove these. All right. So again, that's from the Deadly Weapons demo. And I went back to Rob Freeman, who co-produced and engineered those sessions. I'm like, are you sure that was Ace? Because there's one part that where he's trilling and bending at the same time. It always screamed to me more that it was Bob Kulick. And Rob's like, I was sitting next to Ace in the control room when he did that. That was Ace. So we talk about Ace developing and playing some things that sonics in that solo have always hit me. So those are mine. And I've blown my wad for the multimedia for me for this episode with my rejects. Mark, you also didn't have 4 that made the list. 100,000 Years, Black Diamond, Shock Horror, Breakout, another great pick, and Torpedo.
Torpedo.
Tell us about them.
Well, I mean, 100,000 Years. I mean, I thought immediately like my picks are always like how I pick most of my things. If they come immediately to me, like when you bring up a topic, the first thing that comes to my head, there's a reason why because it's memorable to me, right? And these solos all to me sound memorable. Like 100,000 Years is one of the ones when I first heard that song, it almost seemed like it was Ace, but with like a little extra bit of mojo on it, because like some of those lines, like the he doesn't really seem to do those kind of things much later on. Like he does do that kind of pentatonic stuff, but the way he phrased that was pretty interesting compared to some of the stuff that he would do later, right? I mean, that solo to me is totally memorable to me. What was the other one? Sorry, I'm trying to remember them. 100,000 Years.
Black Diamond.
Black Diamond. I mean, come on. That whole thing where he's down on his knees and those 2 guys are over top of him doing that. That whole
Don't
solo
take 2 guys over top of him.
Posing over.
Visualize that.
Yes. But I mean, let's put it this way. That part is so memorable and such a great solo. I mean, Ace on his solo tours used to just do that one section. He didn't even do with the other part of Black Diamond. He would just do that as an ending part of the song. of the whole set almost. So I mean, I really enjoyed that
Yeah.
solo. I thought it was fantastic. Torpedo Girl, Freak Out. Sorry, I mean, come on,
Freak Out, Breakout.
The reason why I picked Breakout was not so much of the solo. I picked that because of that main riff, that whole riff there.
Oh,
I thought that was extremely strong, because I thought that we were allowed to pick riffs as well as solos.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I picked that riff as a pretty, very strong riff that Ace came up with. And I always thought it was one of his better ones. And also for my Torpedo Girl thing, I picked that because of the bass line. I always thought that was a very interesting bass line that he came up with and played there. I mean, it definitely didn't shout out Gene to me when I heard it the first time, but later on when you figure out all these things that other people, the same people played on multiple instruments on their songs, then it'll start to make sense, right? I mean, that it's really
a crazy riff.
Yeah, it's a really funky kind of riff that only a guitar player would have thought of, probably.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Stargazer. If that's true, then my apologies. But I always thought that riff was fantastic, anyways. But yeah, Torpedo Girl was great. I've always loved that.
So I did a song story dedicated to Torpedo Girl a few years back, and I think I put a little bit of the demo into that episode. So if you haven't listened to that episode, it was a shorter song series. Check it out. All right, there we are. Those are the songs that didn't make the list. So let's get into Licks with Two Picks. I'm gonna see if I can get that. Picks. Licks with two. Yeah, okay, that can easily get messed up. All right. First up is all right. It's our two Guitarzans who picked that one, Mark and Daniel. Daniel, start us off.
Well, what could you say? This is, I mean, this is, he hit it out of the park. This is as good as it gets. I mean, just hearing it now, I'm getting all excited, and I want to, go and grab a guitar and try to mimic this solo. It's such a great solo, one of his best of all time, and I know every note in that solo without even trying to remember it. It sticks. So that was Ace Frehley's best, one of his best assets, being able to create a solo that sticks in your mind just after a few listens. So one of my absolute favorite solos. Such a great solo.
Mark.
Yeah, I mean, the solo is great, but I didn't pick that for the solo. I actually picked it because of that riff. I mean, I remember just recently I went over to one of the music store here and picked up a guitar just to try it, and I actually played that dan 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 dan. And there was one guy in the store. He's like, "Yeah, Ace!" You could hear him in the back, yelling when I started playing it. I mean, it's a very identifiable and very strong riff. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guitar solo is fantastic as well. But the thing about the solo that I found interesting is I find that what makes that solo great is the sort of effects that they slapped on it that gave it that really weird, kind of sound to it. And I think that's a little bit more down to the production too, right, of it. But don't get me wrong, that whole song beginning to end is a masterpiece. So you could have picked the solo, you could have picked the riff, you could have picked anything on that. It was great.
Unfortunately, the song didn't get a lot of love through Kiss's career.
Yeah.
No, they only did it live, I think, a couple of times in '74, and after that, you'd have to see Ace on the road. to hear it, and that became his feature spot for his bass players to sing. So a lot of different guys got to sing that one. Lonnie, thoughts on Strange Ways?
Yeah, it's damn good. It was definitely on my short list that didn't make my top 10. It's so melodic. It's so Ace, just the bending the notes and that, and it's just like Daniel said, you can just sing. You know every note of it. You can just sing along with it. It's fantastic. I totally get what you guys picked up.
Another one of those techniques, the dinosaur bends, very prominent there. Ken, thoughts on Strange Ways before we go on?
Yeah, Strange Ways. I mean, that crossed my mind when I was making a list, and I thought, oh yeah, someone's going to pick that for sure. Just the way Ace attacks the solo on that song just kind of goes off, just going crazy. I mean, I think he was just like out of his mind and just going, kind of thing. It wasn't planned. It was kind of improvised, I think, that solo. And it was so good, they kept it. That's how good it was.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to another lick with only 2 picks. Quite shockingly, but appropriately, from Ace's 1978 solo album. Another one, great tone there. Lonnie and Ken, that was your pick. Lonnie.
That's so damn good. I love that song from start to beginning. Solo included, and then just the opening riff, it just hooks you into that song right away. I remember when I bought Ace's solo album and that song comes on second, and I was just like, holy shit, that's good. I know I'm probably gonna get I know there's people going to be in the comments later saying Lonnie in his mouth, but it's good. I mean, come on, that's so good. That opening riff and the solo, that is Ace, quintessential Ace. It's so good.
I think the greatest thing about that song is actually the riff for me, because it's an Aceism that he's kind of using through his solos that is translated into the main riff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a great way to open the song, and it goes all the way through the song. Sorry, Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. The riff is part of it, but the solo kind of, when it goes off, it's kind of going and then goes, it takes like these quick weird turns in it, and it's like, wow, it just sounds awesome the way he plays it. So it's just a cool solo.
I mean, the one thing that I would always be curious about is did Eddie Kramer come up with that idea of actually tracking it and then flipping the tape, because the whole solo is backwards, right? It's all a reverse tape technique, right? But I mean, that's not exactly easy to do. You have to kind of map it out to some degree to make it to fit, right?
You got to fit it. Yeah.
That's why doing backward guitar solos are never easy to do and not very often done, right? So, but it sounds great though, and I agree that opening riff is the main. Like, wow, I agree with Lonnie 100%. As soon as you hear that opening riff, that you're in, that's it.
Ace's solos sound good both forwards and backwards.
Yeah,
they do.
But to a certain extent, that's what his 1978 solo album was all about, him letting loose and experimenting. So to get that reverse section working, I mean, I love the attack on that picking. That really got so much attitude. There's a period in 77, 78. Joe Perry started doing it more with Aerosmith too. They were really becoming aggressive in their picking technique, and you can almost see chips flying out of the plectrums. So great attitude, absolutely wonderful. All right, so this next pick is one that Daniel and I had. Ooh. I'm going to go first of my explanation. But for me, Marco and Max have kind of said it in the comments. Classic. To me, it's a classic. It's a signature piece when I think of Kiss. It's that solo, usually from a live too, Ken. But I wanted the studio version here. But for me, I picked this today for an emotional reason. When Ace was learning the guitar, the Blues Magoos and Pepe Castro showing Ace guitar, and Ace lifted part of that riff from a Blues Magoos song.
Wayne got nothing yet.
Exactly. And because it ties back with his beginnings and the Bronx, it's got that additional emotional power to me now, having, you know, walked the streets of the Bronx, you know, last year. So that's my reason. Daniel.
I just dare any Kiss fan to try not to be able to sing along to this solo, because every Kiss fan knows every note to this solo. It's such a great, he builds it up to a crescendo, and he even later on he continues a little bit, you know, doing some bends and stuff that we didn't hear during this part of the solo. But such a excellent solo. I mean, what can you say? It's perfection.
Yeah. Lonnie, thoughts on Love Gun?
Yeah, it's such a driving solo. It just and it is so classic. It's Ace, really. It's the Ace that by Love Gun, it's the Ace you've come to know, and he just puts out that kind of solo on. He really shines on Love Gun. Really, you think about that solo, and Ken had Love for Sale, which was, I forgot about how good that is, and you know, we haven't even talked about Shock Me yet. He really shines on that up, and the title track's just another example of it.
Mark.
Yeah, I've always loved this song, and I've always loved that solo. I mean, in my one of my other bands, we used to always do a cover as part of our encore part of the show, and we did Love Gun, and I love doing that solo. I mean, it's so well thought out, and it has an interesting picking technique. You know, just the straight up and down for the pentatonic kind of thing is great. I mean, I absolutely loved playing that song, and the solo was one of the standout things. Another example of a song within this song. I mean, you can't help but think of that solo when you think of Love Gun.
Yeah. Ken.
Yeah, that song, the solo itself is almost half the worth of the song itself. I mean, imagine if there was no solo in that song. That song wouldn't have been as good overall as it's kind of the cherry on top of that whole thing. Is it makes it even that much better just because of that solo.
Absolutely. All right, this next pick is, again, only two of us, but it's going to get two clips because there's two distinctive sections to it that those who chose it kind of identified it for. She. That was Lonnie, and who else? Lonnie,
I did. She.
Oh, Lonnie and Ken. Lonnie, go first. Which section of She did you pick?
Lonnie and I are
we're in lockstep today, Ken.
Lockstep.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, I think, you know, just like I was thinking about Let Me Go Rock and Roll, I think about Alive. Well, you know what? I think about She. I think about Alive too, and or Alive as well, I guess I should say.
Yes.
You know, I love that soul. There's so many good things about it. I love the riff at the end of the song that is off. That's tagged on to Let Me Know as well on the original Kiss album. I love that riff, and when I saw them on the farewell tour, I went with a friend of mine who had never seen them before, and they went into that riff. Did they go into that riff on the farewell tour, or was it? No. It was World Domination Tour with the Aerosmith, and they did that riff, and he was just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're playing that, and you know, that's so good. I really like that, and then the solo the solo on Alive is so good too. So I'm really thinking about She on Alive when I was thinking about this, and because Ace really shines on that song on Alive, and there's that's two great examples of it. Ken, what about you?
Well, hold on. Let's listen to that right now before Ken goes.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's good, isn't it?
That's
So good.
Yeah. I could
I
easily
mean-
have picked some of the riffs in She as my favorite picks as well, because I think that's one of those classic riffing Kiss songs that's out there. The other one I'm thinking about is Parasite. You know, Parasite and She, some of the coolest riffing on rhythm guitar that you can ever perform live. I mean, wow, what a song.
We're keeping Universal's copyright identification system busy on YouTube today with all these clips, but it's the music is alive, literally. Ken, She.
Yeah, once on the live version, and that he just starts ripping into the solo, and he's doing all his particular aceism stuck in it, and just attacking the guitar and feeling it, throughout that live performance. It's just an awesome, great solo. It just makes that song even better when it's live.
Yeah, and just imagine the people who saw this song in 1975 live on a night special.
Right.
Oh my goodness!
Awesome.
I mean, think of the moment that would have been on TV. Just incredible. Mark, She.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is one of those songs where, again, if I would have got back into the live album frame of mind, it would have definitely been in my top 10 contending list. But studio-wise, it's still good, but not as strong as it is obviously live. But the live stuff is fantastic. I mean, again, a great reference there, Julian, to the Midnight Special performance of that, because that was really well done. I mean, that was really well thought out and well played. I mean, live is live, and you can bumble stuff easy, but that was played perfectly. Even if it was little, shooting off the little fireworks there off the end of the guitar bit, everything perfectly done. That guitar solo will always be in my brain as one of the most fantastic guitar solos that was performed on a live television show.
Isn't it incredible that this started out as a flute song on Wicked Lester, and when Kiss wanted to be really heavy during the 90s, in 95, they picked this song because it was so damn heavy. I think it's just a metamorphosis, or whatever you say, of the song. So, that's so cool to see from the flute thing. And in the end, it becomes this really heavy, cool Kiss song that they actually played on the final shows in 95 with Eric Singer and Bruce Kulick.
Yeah, but what's the difference? The flute version is just Gene and Paul. The heavy ass version is Ace and Peter. What a difference, changing those elements and completely revisiting the arrangement and the whole style of the song is. They made it street. It wasn't some hippie flower power stuff after they were done with it. Ken, thoughts on She?
No, you already got me.
Who did I forget? Oh, me. Yeah. So She, everything that these guys have.
That's the first.
Everything that these guys have said is absolutely correct. But there's also one other part of She on Alive that just stands out to me, and I had to do a separate clip for this for my perspective. I
Yeah.
had to put that in because Ace's live solo
Part of it.
is just again, it's spectacular, it's powerful, it's dynamic, and
There's only
even
one
though
part of it too.
it's concise.
Mhm.
You know, for that album format, what they did to present his solo and Peter's drum solo as well, to make it work on a live album without it becoming, you know, a 13-minute track, really spectacular. So I gratuitously inserted that into our multimedia for today, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
Oh, that's good.
All right, let's move on. I don't have multimedia for Making Love. Who had this? I had this because it's absolutely a rip-roaring solo. Who else had it?
Which one?
Making Love.
Making Love.
You
I did.
Yeah, why?
Why? Because it's an awesome solo.
Damn right.
It's one of the best, you know, solos on Rock and Roll Over. Other than, you know, I had Dr. Love I know on there. But yeah, I think it's one of the coolest solos that he's done, and he just rips away at it. So it's just a great solo. Nothing else to say about it.
Lonnie, any thoughts on Making Love?
No, it's really good. I didn't pick it, but I can see why you guys did. It's fantastic. It's really good Ace solo.
Mark?
Yeah, same thoughts. I mean, it's kind of shorter to the point, but has all the things that you come to expect from an Ace Frehley solo. Sorry.
Daniel?
I think it's a great solo. I think it lacks a bit, you know, there's not a lot of dynamics in the solo. It's really speedy, but it's still a great solo.
Yeah, and I think it's more the riff for me though on that, and that drives the song throughout. But you know, as a launching pad for that solo, again, it's the interplay between both of those guitarists and how Paul and Ace are part of presenting Kiss's guitar sound. Paul doing stuff rhythmically, Ace doing stuff rhythmically, and then Ace letting loose for the leads. All right, this is the last of our licks with 2 picks, and it's the second of the Wicked Lester recycles. Love Her All I Can.
Yeah.
And this, let me just play some video for this,
Cool.
and then I'll tell you something about the video file. All right.
Awesome.
Love Her All I Can. And that video file, by the way, that's been on my YouTube for a few years because that's the video file we wanted to go over with Ace for the book, for his memories and thoughts on those guitar solos. So it's nice to actually get to use it because Ace was never able to see it. So Love Her All I Can, Lonnie.
Great. Just absolutely great. Great song. And then that Ace solo when they're just kind of just transforms that song from what it was on those Wicked Lester demos. It just makes it that more melodic and heavy, kind of like what they did with She. So I love Love Her All I Can, and the solo is fantastic. So
yeah, and this one was picked by both Daniel and Ken. So Daniel.
Yeah, I love the thing that they stopped the music and let the solo be the main part of the song for a while there. They did a similar thing on the Carnival of Souls album for what's it called? In the Mirror, I think it's called. Take a Look in the Mirror. It's sort of a second coming of this song. So most people or a lot of Kiss fans reject the Carnival of Souls album, but I you should go and listen to Take a Look in the Mirror. It has a lot of Dress to Kill feel actually. So I always enjoyed when I heard Carnival of Souls for the first time. I thought of this song, and I like that the drums and everything stops and the solo gets the main focus, and then just go into oblivion. It's such a great song, a great solo.
Ken.
Yeah, it's an awesome solo. He plays the kind of the scales plays the same notes back and forth, and he's, even though he plays a lot of the same stuff, but it makes it work and makes it fit right in the song. I don't know how he does it or how he did it. It's always awesome. He can still just, play the scales a little bit here and there, and it just makes it work. Repeating things, then switching out, and then going off after doing that, and it's always memorable. It's always memorable. That's what makes it, Ace.
Mark.
Yeah, this song, the solo in particular, I found interesting because this one seems a little bit more thought out than the usual Ace solo. Because usually when Ace comes to a solo, he just kind of goes totally by feel and does a lot of and does a lot of thrills and stuff like that. But this, when they did those stops, those parts seemed very much more worked out rather than just off the cuff sort of thing. But that's good. It made it sound more like an actual thought out solo in that area. And then once they got back to the riff, he just, was set off the leash and could do whatever he sort of wanted to do and fly off the, seat of his pants there. So, but I thought that was well thought out that way, doing it that way.
All right. Did I get everyone on that?
Mm-hmm.
Because then we can move on to 3 licks with 3 picks. And the first one up is...
Oh!
All right, so Rocket Ride, the mighty one, picked by Daniel, Mark, and myself. Daniel.
Yeah, I think both the main riff and the solo are perfection. I mean, and I love that flanger effect or whatever it's called, on the guitar. It's sort of underwhelming that the song didn't get any love from Kiss. I think they played it during a medley on the farewell tour, and that's about it. I'm very unfortunate because to me this is one of the top 5 Ace Frehley Kiss songs, and it has to do with the main riff. It's so cool to play that main riff, and even the beginning, it sets up, the anticipation for the song. So I think this is one of Ace's best songs in Kiss, and very unfortunate it wasn't played more.
Yeah, for me, same reasons. It's both the riff and the solo, because it's almost quintessential Ace, but that solo is just stellar, no pun intended. And to me, it's one of the most egregious omissions from Kiss's live performances. And it just is what it is. It was always a song that I enjoyed for the Ace Frehley band when they were doing it, and also Frehley's Comet, in the tape trading days. And of course, you can't forget the lyrics. It's just fun 70s rock and roll. Mark, you also had it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this I think is probably one of Ace's best guitar solos he's done. Period. I mean, the flanger in it is obviously one of the trademark staples of the whole song, top to bottom. But I think the thing that really stood out for me is that the wah pedal that he used in there. Because I mean, he never used it again on any Kiss song. Again, not in any solo I heard him do ever did he use a wah pedal, just on this song, and that's kind of a shame in my opinion because he's very good at it. He had a great technique with using it. He didn't make it sound too disco-y, which sometimes people who use a wah pedal tend to sometimes fall into that unfortunate bracket. But it sounds really good. I mean, I think that his tone of the guitar is really good. The Marshall sounds in full flight on this. Great stuff. I mean, again, you could have picked any part of this song and it would have been worth mentioning. But that guitar solo, again, one of the longer ones that he's done on recording, and one of the ones that has stuff that he doesn't do again, like that phaser he doesn't do very often after this or even before that. But the Crybaby Wah was never again put in any Kiss song.
Yep. Interesting. Lonnie, thoughts on Rocket Ride?
You know, it's really good. I didn't pick it, but man, listening to that solo, I'm like, my God, that's really good. That's a miss. That's a miss on my part for not taking that, because that's really, really strong. He's, yeah. I for whatever reason, I wasn't even thinking about when I was going through it in my mind. I did side 4 of Alive 2 didn't come to my mind, and it should have, because Rocket Ride is Ace really at his peak. So
There is
absolutely fantastic. Go ahead, Daniel.
There is a sister song to Rocket Ride on the final album from Kiss. If you take listen to the Tommy Thayer song,
No.
I'll take you out of this world on a midnight rocket, going up, going down. It's the same. What I mean, it's the same.
It has the same word "rocket" in it.
It's
that's
actually
the only thing that's the same.
No, it's not the only thing. It's about a rocket, and it's about you doing that thing that we all like to do.
Okay,
it's a Temu Rocket Ride. All right,
that's good. It's a Temu Rocket Ride.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, who have I missed on this?
I haven't yet. Yeah, the solo is so cool. I mean, Rocket Ride crossed my mind right away when I was first doing the list, and I thought I'll let someone else, do it, because as I knew that was going to get picked easy, so I wanted to pick something else as to put out there. But that solo just builds, and then it increases and goes up and up and up. It's like a rocket ship, going up and
going up, going down,
to its explosion at the end. So there you have it. I think it's awesome.
All right.
Don't say explosion at the end.
Moving on.
Got that, Lonnie.
There are second three licks, or licks with 3 picks is Cold Gin, the first song Ace ever brought to Kiss in 1973, rightfully represented by 3 of us. Lonnie, here's one of your picks.
I picked it more for the riff. I just love the Cold Gin. I mean, the solo is good, but I just love that Cold Gin riff, and the Ace's songs are just so riff driven, more than anything else. And that Cold Gin riff, when you hear it, man, it just makes your hair on your arms stand up when you hear it. It's so good. So that's why I picked for me. I just love that riff. It's one of the first riffs I learned how to play on guitar. Because you can like, you can learn that, it's not too difficult, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh man, this is really cool. And it is such a great riff. It's so, it just makes you start, nodding your head along right away. It's very, very so Ace. So I had to pick that.
Let's play some of that before we move on.
That middle part, that was written by Gene. Did you know that? The part you played was the Gene section of the song.
Yeah. Leave it to Ken to bring up Gene in an Ace episode.
Hey, it's true. I mean, it's just true. He added it.
Yeah,
he gave it to Ace. He said you need to put something in the middle.
And who is playing it?
Ooh, Ace.
Very, very good, Ken.
That's good.
Yeah.
I thought when you talk about the riff, the main riff of the song itself,
do you think I could possibly be causing trouble with that clip?
What?
All right. Who was next up with that? Lonnie. had cold. No, Lonnie had cold gin. Daniel had cold gin, and Mark. So whoever I haven't already gone to.
I can talk a little bit about for me, it's the main riff. And I have to piggyback off of Lonnie. This was one of the first time I felt really cool playing the electric guitar, doing that riff. I felt like a king playing that riff because it's really simple, but it sure delivered the goods. And it still does. And to me, it's more about the main riff than the solo on this song. I think that main riff is so cool. One of my favorite riffs in the entire catalog.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I have to agree with everybody else here too. I mean, the first two riffs I ever learned on guitar was Cold Gin and Smoke on the Water. Those two were essentially like one of the first two songs you try to learn as a guitar player. I mean, once you got those down, you feel motivated and you're like, yeah, and now you feel
like, I can do this.
Confidence, that you can do it and move on from that. So great riffs. And like we've said many times before on this podcast, it doesn't have to be overly complicated to be great. Sometimes the most simplest things are the ones that sound the best.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you said you were playing some Ace riffs in the guitar shop the other day. Have you ever tried playing the Smoke on the Water riff in a guitar shop and see what happens?
Actually, I've never done
Everyone
that.
does that, right?
That's
That's a big no-no.
Don't do that. You don't do Teen Spirit. That was the first guitar riff I ever learned. I Smoke on the Water and Stepping Stone. So there we go. All right. Did I get everyone for Cold Gin?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So our final pick or lick with 3 picks is Shock Me, the Alive 2 version.
Yeah. It Shock Me is one of the first time I heard Shock Me was on the Live 2 because that was my first. And just hearing that the whole solo and then the extended full concert solo is like, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. You never heard anything like that on anything before. So it just blew my mind. It was so cool. Just so cool.
Lonnie.
Yeah, Shock Me is Ace, really at his finest. I mean, it really shining from start to finish on that. You're talking about the Live 2. It's even better than on a Live 2 than it is on Love Gun because you get the Ace solo with it along with it. So, I mean, that's Ace. And I mentioned it before. Ace is really shining on Love Gun right there. He's really coming into his own. Solos are great, and Shock Me is his crown jewel.
Yeah. Well, I have to say. Oh, sorry.
Ace Frehley.
That's what it's all about.
Shock me.
Little surprise.
Mark, Shock Me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Shock Me that I always found very interesting is that main riff, because a lot of the times even when I first learned it, I was playing it wrong, and a lot of people play that riff wrong. That that part there, people tend to just go to the G, and actually it's an F sharp that you have to bend to get to the G, which most people don't do when you watch them play it, right? And that's really kind of another Aceism that he does a lot. Even in that solo we just heard, he does that there, and he bends that F sharp off to the G chord there, which is a trademark Ace thing for sure. He's I know other people have done it too, but he's really known for doing that. So great riff. That riff alone is worth having it mentioned.
As bad as I'm feeling, I'm enjoying this show, so I'm going to play a little bit more. I think this is the real solo, the main song part. Come on! All right, that's a freaking story, that solo, and
that's a long one. Yeah,
you know, even though I didn't pick this song, that to me is again quintessential Ace Frehley in that he has a beginning, a middle, and end to his story, and he's playing it just absolutely gorgeously with all of those elements that are just so signature to his sound and style for me. So I didn't want us to not talk about the main solo when I'm sure someone meant that, not just the setup of the 5/2 solo. But there's again, just like She on Alive, Shock Me on Alive 2 is the launching pad. All right, that is it for our 3 picks. Now we're into licks with 4 picks, and there's no Ken on these because he's the one who didn't pick these, so he's got some explaining to do
on purpose.
Hell yeah!
Probably.
Let's get started with the.
I knew you guys would pick these things probably.
Of course you did. You just wanted us to have more selection and more Ace
exactly
represented. Yeah, I know how you think. And I'll go first. Deuce. Again, it's about emotion for me. This is the first song he played with Kiss. So it has to be represented. It's one of my favorite Kiss. Well, it is my favorite Kiss song. So obviously I'm picking it, whether it was written by Gene. It's such an economically and tasty solo. It's everything that I love about Ace in his prime, that he was just able to deliver something so fully formed and fitting in the song that he was playing to, and it really supports the song. Lonnie, Deuce.
No, absolutely great. I mean, I mean, what can you say about it? That solo within Deuce. I mean, the song is great, and then the solo comes in, it just drives it home. It's really just classic Ace. I mean, I definitely had it on mine because I mean it's one of the first songs that comes to mind when you think of him actually. And Ace always called it his favorite Kiss song, and always played it when he did a solo show because it's one of his signature solos. So had to put it on there.
Agree, Marco. Mark.
Yeah. So I definitely agree. It's one of his best solos he's done, and with good reason. I mean, he even said in his book that when he went in to do the audition and they told him to do his solo in this part, that he put in every single one of his, best licks that he had at that point. So of course it's going to be a great solo. If you put all your best material into one solo, it's going to be a standout solo, and that's what this is.
Daniel.
If this is anywhere near what he played during those sessions with Kiss when they were trying to hire a new guitar player, he must have blown everyone else out of the water completely, because this is my #1 pick of all time when it comes to Ace Frehley solos. I mean, it's so intertwined with the song. You can't really tell the solo and the song apart. I mean, it comes and it stops and it comes back, but it's such a great solo. It's his masterpiece to me. I love it, and it's great to hear that a few of you others, other Kiss fuckers out there like this as one as well. I mean, it's wow. It blows your mind. I mean, it's so great. It's my favorite of all time.
And it's not the only solo in that song that's great either. And before we go to Why Ken Hates Gene Simmons, here's the outro solo. Ace isn't gone. He's just a push play away. Don't ever forget that. Ken, Deuce didn't make your list, but what are your thoughts on it?
No, it's another one that was great. Yeah, just like, Love Gun, the solo Love Gun makes that song. The same thing happened with Deuce. It's just you can't hear the song without the solo. I can't imagine another guitarist trying to come up with a solo as good as that. If they had picked someone else, it wouldn't have been near as good as that. It would have been kind of probably, I don't know, not inventive at all, probably. I think there's just some people that are great guitarists out there, and there's not a lot. I mean, there are a lot of great guitarists, but there's a reason that they are great, because they have something special about them and about the way they play. And Ace is one of those top guitarists of all time, and it shows why in that song and the most every song he's done with Kiss.
All right, so this is our second lick with 4 picks. Lonnie, get us started after I play the clip. Lonnie.
I think Ace really shines on this song. I love the first thing that comes to mind with me when I think of Parasite is the riff. I love the riff of Parasite, and it hooks you in right away. It's so just a little bit darker for Kiss, which is great. And then that solo of his in the middle of it is, like dun 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 dun. It's like, man, that's good. It again, I talked about it at the beginning that there's no other Kiss guitarist like Ace, but there's really no other guitarist like Ace, and like this is really one of Ace's more shining moments with that riff and that solo all in the same song. Like that's and it's so good that despite the continued, for lack of a better word, rift between Kiss and Ace, they played this on the end of the road tour because it is that good, and like,
yeah,
we can't not play it almost because it's so good. So, it's think about that. We talked about Cold Gym, we talked about Parasite. I mean, Ace isn't in the band, but Ace still has his fingerprints all over what they were doing up until the very end.
Absolutely. And Ghost Musician points out that a lot of it's also down to the interplay between Ace and Peter. Again, backbone of the band in a certain sense. Mark, Parasite.
Yeah, I love this song. It's such a great riff. Again, simple, not too overly complicated, but has a lot of power to it. Depending on how you do it. I mean, when Bruce Kulick played it, he played it a little bit more staccato, whereas Ace played it a little bit more looser. But either way, still sounds great in my opinion. And that guitar solo, great stuff in that guitar solo. Just simple licks in between the phrasing there. I've always enjoyed it. I thought it was one of his better thought out solos in that as well.
Daniel.
Yeah, a lot of people are commenting on Peter Criss's drumming. I have to say that, to me, one of the previous songs we mentioned, Shock Me. To me, the drumming is almost the main part in that song, because I love Peter Criss's drumming on that song. But Parasite, all the parts are phenomenal. That part, the main riff, awesome. And the soul, of course, is the, what do you say, the of the cake, the
icing on the cake.
The icing on the cake. The icing on the cake. Thank you, people. Thank you, Americans and Canadians that know the language. Well, okay, so that's. I mean, this is. I'd say this is my favorite Ace Frehley song of all time, because all the parts are awesome. All the main riffs, and there are several of them, and the solo. And I actually like the way Gene sings this song as well. So I'm glad they kept it through the years. And my favorite version is, of course, the 92 to 95 versions with Singer and Kulick. Man, it's heavy metal before heavy metal was invented.
Yeah, it's straight out of kind of the Iron Butterfly, sludgy Sabbath type sound back then. For me, it's the riff and the solo, and I love the break that I get off playing on the guitar. That's one of the things I can handle doing. And the riff, again, it's a great song just to noodle around on and get in a good place. So to me, had to be, if I was going to put them in order, it'd be pretty high up that list as well in terms of favorite Ace riffage. Ken, again, you left that one to the rest of us so that we could have more picks. But what do you think of Parasite?
Exactly. No, because Parasite crossed my mind. Yeah, Parasite crossed my mind right away. One of the ones that crossed my mind. And I thought I'm not going to pick it. I pick it, but I won't pick it. But the riff of that thing is so good song. There's a couple of riffs in it, actually. It's just so awesome, different riffs. And then, of course, yes, like Daniel said, the solos kind of, it's so good. It is the icing on the cake. It's so awesome. So it's just, the whole song is great.
All right, Kiss Army. We're down to the unanimous pick. The single that we all chose. What do you think it was? And did you think that we were only going to have one unanimous pick? I'm actually shocked that it was only one.
Right.
I thought we'd have five across the board. That was my number. Lonnie, how many did you think we were going to have unanimously?
I thought we'd have three.
Me too.
Yeah, I would have said maybe 2 or 3.
I thought 4.
But I knew I intentionally didn't choose songs.
Yeah, I
chose some other ones.
Ken trying to be so original. Oh my god!
You're like hurting the bell curve, Ken. Like it's like the kid in school that like. Gets
I like to do that. I like.
Yeah, it's like the kid in school that got 100% on the trigonometry test. You got
to throw a wrench in it.
I think I really need to make Max happy right now, and mention "Rip It Out." It didn't make the list. And that's another one of the songs. I've played that on the Cruise Jam. I played that in, I think, Nashville as well at a jam. I love Rip It Out. It's one of the songs I can do. Not the solo. but the rhythm track, I love that song. That's another one of my go-to places. That Save Your Love, love playing Charisma guitar wise as well. So all of those are, again, there are so many Ace Frehley songs and solos and riffs and licks that we could choose from. We barely, Mark's the only one who picked anything from Frehley's Comet. I'm the
But I
only
think
one
it was great that you picked Pain in the Neck. I have to go and listen to Pain in the Neck, Julian, because that's
just spin Anomaly, start to finish, Daniel. Just go back to where he was at that point in his life. All right, without further ado, let's just do the unanimous pick for Ace's Sweetest lick. Wow. Ace. Again, I don't care where the inspiration comes from it, whether it was really the prompting of do a Binky solo. What Ace delivered there with its bends, again, the techniques that he puts together into telling that story are just absolutely spectacular. And, hipper than hell. Rock Soldiers, if we were doing a 3-hour show with 20 picks, I'm sure it'd be in there. And get us on another day, would probably have a completely different list. But here we are for today. Ken, finally, something that you selected.
Yeah, right. This is like one of the first songs that, I got into, first favorite song when getting into Kiss at the beginning. And when I played that the first 20 times hearing that song and that solo, every time I'd hear that solo, it sent like a shiver or something up my spine. I was like, whoa, God. I was like, shoot, it's so good. And I kept wanting to play it again and again. It was just, I never had, not too many solos are like that gives me that, shiver or whatever it is, tingling, whatever you want to call it, goosebumps, right?
There you go.
Kind of thing. So yeah, that was one of them. It's simple, yet it's simple, fits the song so well, and it's just so good and melodic at the same time. It's not just going crazy. It's just perfect for the song.
Mark.
Yeah, this has always been and always will be the number one Ace solo. Perfect solo. All the licks are perfectly thought out. There's some nice use of effects on there as well. Everything that Ace is known for is in this guitar solo. It's the right length. It's not too long. It's not too short. Everything about it is nicely done. Even the lines going out of the solo back into the chorus is good. And that's another thing that sometimes people kind of overlook when they're writing solos, is how to get out of a solo without it making it sound too odd or sound like it just was out of place. He has a perfect outline as well as the intro line as well. So one of his best and probably the best solo he's done.
Lonnie?
It's one of those where you listen to it and you're just like, how can it be that good when you're listening to it? It's like, oh my goodness, how can it be that good? It's one of those songs and one of those it's a great song, but that solo just makes that song so great. You're listening to it just over and over again, like Ken was saying, like, man, how can that be so darn good? So, it really is one of his best, if not his very best.
Did I get everyone for this song?
No, you didn't. It's my turn. So I just have to say, you guys have said a lot. I agree with all that you said, but I'd like to add one thing, and that is that there's another Kiss guitarist that managed to play this solo in a different way, but it still was awesome. So I
Oh,
would
no.
like, I would, yeah, I, I, I would encourage everyone to go and listen to the Rio show. Fuck! What the hell? Julian muted me because he doesn't want to hear the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the
I know
truth
who
is
you're
that
talking about.
Vinnie Vincent played an awesome variant of this solo on the Rio show. Go to 1983 and listen to that solo. It's a different take on the solo. He got the main ingredients correct, but he pushes it on to another level, to the heavy metal Kiss. I just want to add that because Vinnie Vincent failed on a lot of Ace Frehley solos. We know that because we have compared,
Uh-huh.
We did an
how they
episode
play
on that,
solo.
didn't we?
Yeah, we did quite a few episodes where we compared Vinny and Bruce and the way they played the Ace solos. And to be frank, Vinny failed on a lot of the solos, but this one he got correct. He got it right. So I mean, the screaming guitar, and he keeps the main ingredients and pushes it to the heavy metal level. So this solo is awesome, 10 out of 10. But I would also say that Vinnie Vincent's solo is 10 out of 10, and it's a different take on a great solo. And I think it's just interesting to hear that Vinnie could deliver the goods.
Well, I think we need a cleansing after that comment. So this is one of the licks with two picks that I didn't play a sample for. So here we go.
What was that? I saw Christian 16.
Yeah, that file has a whole bunch of different solos in it, obviously. So again, those are our picks. I mean, if you've been listening to this episode and the comments that have been coming in, fast and furious throughout the episode, there's a lot of other songs that people think should be mentioned. And you know what?
Sure.
There are a lot of other songs. Ace's music is, again, we're going to be able to enjoy this for the rest of our lifetimes, and to continue to enjoy what he gave us, his contributions to pop culture. And all of these solos, we like them for different reasons: how they're constructed, how they feel, what they remind us of, and how they are a part of Kiss's story, right up to 2023, when he isn't even on the end of the road with Kiss, as Ken mentioned. Again, they're playing Parasite, they're playing Cold Gin. His songs are still a critical part of pop music. And coming up in Vegas, they'll be doing a Frehley tribute, and paying tribute to this music that is central to Kiss's story. So again, it's great to have gotten together to talk about Ace Frehley's Sweetest licks. I just wish he was here. I miss him tremendously, knowing that he's no longer with us. But it's a cliche to say, well, at least we've got the music. But at least we've got the music. So, final thoughts on the Sweetest licks today, Lonnie. How did that go versus where you thought it was going to go?
Well, I'm still disappointed in you guys, but it was, it was a really fun discussion to see. There's so many good Ace songs, and again, like Julian mentioned, like there's so many good ones we could talk about. And, if we had a top 20, we could sit here and talk about more, because there are so many great ones. And, and I miss Ace too. I miss him so much, but I'm just glad we have the music, and we'll have it forever.
Mark.
Yeah, a lot of the picks I wasn't surprised of. And of course, like you said, there's so many great Ace solos. I mean, this could be like a 3-hour video if we went through all of them. And
no,
so I mean, I know that's not your
an hour and a half.
That's not your bag, I know. But but lots of great picks, and not a surprise in my opinion.
Ken.
Yeah, there's just so many great guitar solos. Most of them, almost every one of them, by Ace. He was the perfect. It just proves he was the perfect guitarist for Kiss. The right fit. I just don't think Kiss would have been as big had he not been part of the band. I just don't. It would have been different. I just don't think they would have had the success he was definitely that 25% of Kiss. 75% of Kiss would have not made it as big. It's 100% with Ace being there, and it was the perfect 4-piece band in the 70s when they formed.
Yep. Daniel, you have the final word on Ace's Sweetest Licks.
Well, I have to say that I appreciate that Julian took his time to put in some multimedia. I always love it when Julian takes time out of his busy schedule to provide us with some multimedia clips. It rocks my world. I love it. And also I have to tip my hat to the persons listening, especially Stargazer and Marco Roven, and keeping the discussion going and giving us a lot of stuff to talk about and being involved in the show. And I love discussing music. So whenever we're discussing music, I love it. So, and Ace, well, he is such a great guitarist, and we've proved it today. We've picked some of his best riffs and solos, and I think the proof is in the pudding. It was a great show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to thank everyone who's joined us live today and chimed in with their comments during the episode. For those who aren't joining us live, chime in with your thoughts wherever you're listening to this episode. Before we go, Ken, Mark, you guys have a new podcast. You want to just tell people about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's something we started called Kiss the Vinyl. It's not a Kiss only podcast, but it's about vinyl. Mark and I kind of discuss vinyl albums and artists that are kind of, a lot of them are overlooked. Just showing our love for vinyl music. So that's just something we kind of started. We'll see how it goes.
Now, post the link in the YouTube video for this so that people can check it out. All right. So thanks for joining us for this week. So for now, from Ken, Mark, Daniel, Lonnie, and myself, we'll see you next time. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the message board and discuss the topics we've broadcast today. Don't forget to hit subscribe wherever you've listened to this show, and a like would very much be appreciated. We hope you'll join us again, but until then, remember, life's a radio. Turn it up to 10.